Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar Dee Eight. This is the only way I can travel. What about you? I'm sure you've elegantly traveled the world like any wealthy wife might. Before Jessica was born, my husband took me to many countries. Before marrying, I never once traveled overseas, so each time was a fresh and new experience. Humph. Sounds like you were also born into a very rigid family. It was strict, but they gave me a wonderful upbringing. It would be rude to my father and mother to call that rigid. That's a pretty elegant way to call it rigid, Cackle. Kraus might have pitied Natsui, or he might have wanted to take her away from the rigid Ushiromiya family for a little bit and let her rest, or he might simply have wanted to take his wife around countries he knew well to show off everything he knew. Unlike father, my husband is fond of Asian nations. I imagine if I was rich and, remembered what a hug felt like, I probably would travel to various countries and be like, hey, let's look at this cool thing. Still wanting to try to learn other languages, but procrastinating. Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, Thailand. I think we also went to Malaysia. Cackle. That Kraus. Was he trying to rebel against Kinzo's Western tastes? But Asia is good too. I think both. I think the best thing about that is, first off, Asian countries have a lot of rich cultural heritage. But also, a lot of European countries have a lot of rich cultural heritage. Granted, there's a lot of rich cultural heritage in America as well, but at the same time, America's only been, we're a few months away from having the 250th anniversary of, the founding of the country. Whereas a lot of other countries have been around for a bit longer. Best thing you can say about all of that is this. The countries that have been around longer, they have buildings that were built hundreds of years ago that are still standing. I've seen pictures and videos of enormous cathedrals in Germany, and of course Notre Dame in France, and I can't really think of anything other than Big Ben or Buckingham Palace for England. But I imagine there's probably some really cool, fascinating, I imagine there's still some aspects of the countryside in, England as well as the rest of the UK. If anyone out there lives in even if you're in America, if there's something you think is that you'd like to brag about in terms of your part of the world, let me know. If you're say someone in Spain or Ireland or Scotland or Wales or Russia or China, Japan, Australia, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark. I know we've already said Germany, but main point, especially a lot of the European countries have really old buildings that look incredibly beautiful. As well as I've heard that there's places in the fields and cliff highland areas of places like Ireland and Scotland that are apparently very beautiful. I'm just saying, there's a lot to admire when it comes to not only the beautiful things that humans can build that show a lot of ingenuity, intelligence, and just incredible skill and dedication it takes. Some buildings took like hundreds of years, where it's expansion after expansion. Just what people can do. And then, of course, there's just nature itself. So if you know, if you know anything that you think that would be like something that'd be cool to see at some point in the future, if I was ever rich and able to travel, let me know. I can at least look up a video of it on YouTube. Like, you're like, oh, I know of this one area, this one part of New Zealand that's really pretty, and I can look up a YouTube video of it. Like I said before, I'd probably be like the lamest use of superpowers. Like, if I had the power to teleport all over the planet, I'd probably just use it to teleport to all the different hiking and bike trails. Granted, I can't ride a bicycle, but I'd go to bike trails to walk them. I forget why we got on this conversation. Something about bike trails. I don't know, I like hiking. Granted, I need to remember to bring water and wear sunblock because I'm super pale, pasty white, and I don't want to burn. But yeah, definitely bring water if you go on extended hikes. It sucks being dehydrated. But I don't remember why we were talking about bike trails. After all, the Japanese are strongly influenced by the West. When they think of foreign countries, only Western ones come to mind. But you mustn't forget the East. I myself knew a few things about the West, but I knew very little about the East. I seem to recall my husband making fun of me now and then during our travels. Beato subtly peered in Natsui's heart as the latter grumbled that the trips had all been very tiring. Isn't her headaches caused by Beatrice sneaking up behind her and hitting her in the head with the pipe that she smokes? Are you listening? This is called an Erica nut? What? It's a popular luxury food item around here. Is it? Like, I don't know anything about, like, what country we're supposedly in at the moment, or what an Erica nut is, but I feel like you're bullshitting me. I feel like you're bullshitting me. It looked like a small, round, gourd-like nut that had been smashed with cucumber wedged in it. What? Huh. At a glance, it looked as though it would probably taste like pickles. Okay, I could see that, but I have no idea. I see. So I just bite it here? As she tried to bite the one her husband was holding, he suddenly moved it away. Is it spicy? Are you worried I'll burn my mouth? Thank you. I can imagine if someone's like, hey, this is a Reaper pepper. Oh, I'll take a bite. No, Jesus! No, don't bite into it. Dear God, no. I don't want you to die. I just wanted you to see how cool it looked. And then I wanted to talk about how it's used in certain dishes. Diluted. Don't eat it straight. Jesus, no. Fuck, I care about you. I don't want you to burn your mouth. It felt kind of embarrassing, like she was a fish after some bait. Whoa, wait up. You have to eat it a certain way. Yes, you are supposed to bite. Yes, you are supposed to bite it. Why would you... What? Why would you emphasize it that way? What? I don't understand. Bite it. What? Huh? Chew it, but don't swallow it? Huh? Yeah, I feel the same. Even though you bite and chew it, you can't swallow it? Yes. Bite and chew. Don't swallow. And don't drink the juice? It'll make your stomach hurt. But why would you eat this then? What's the purpose? If you have to spit, you can't even like accidentally drink the juice. What's the purpose of this food? Just the taste? I mean, isn't the purpose of food to like
Calories? I don't understand. I mean, I understand, like, and again, everyone's like, what do you mean you don't understand? I understand what you're saying. I understand you bite it, chew it, but don't swallow anything. I understand that. I just don't understand why such a thing would exist. It's like someone explains mosquitoes. Like, what, you don't understand mosquitoes? I understand the existence of mosquitoes. I don't understand why they exist. I understand that they exist and how they function. I just don't see any sort of beneficial reason why they should, not be extinct. Why would you eat something like that? Think of it as something like gum. But gum serves a purpose. And gum, like, obviously gum would make you sick if you swallow, but it's not something you're actually going to swallow. But here's the thing. Gum serves a purpose. It can be a way to freshen your breath, and it can be a way to, air quotes, clean your teeth. If you're in the middle of the day and you just ate some pizza and you can't exactly, you're not home to go brush your teeth again. So it helps get stuff out from between your teeth and freshens your breath. Either that or like people chew gum to not smoke, I guess. But I've never smoked anything in my life. So maybe that's just why I don't see an appeal in gum. Because most of the time I just, mints. I like mints. I never really cared for gum. I don't know. I don't like gum. Does anyone out there like gum? I don't like gum. Chew it and enjoy the flavor. Then take the scraps you've bitten and the juice and spit it out into paper cup like this. Why does this remind me of the people that do chewing tobacco? The deer? The inside of your mouth is bright red. Wipe it off. Wipe it off. Eek. Even her favorite handkerchief. You guys say handkerchief or handkerchief? Which she had wiped Krause's mouth with, had bright red marks on it. Something that's poisonous if eaten or drunk, and it makes the inside of your mouth so bright red. That sounds very unappetizing in every way to me. I mean, maybe this is something that other people like. Maybe it's just something they grew up with. Maybe it's just something that's, like, it's like, for example, it's just, granted, there's foods I've seen people have that I don't really understand. Like, here's the thing. Genetically, like, I'm an American, but according to, like, genetics tests, all of my ancestors have been in the region of Ohio since before America was even founded as a country. That being said, my DNA is 47% English, 47% Scottish, and the rest of that's like Irish, German, Italian, stuff like that. Basically, it's like 96% of, heck, like I said, 47% Scottish, 47% English. The rest is like stuff like Irish, German, Italian, stuff like that. Basically, an amalgam. It's like the remaining not English Scottish of me is just the other parts of just Western Europe. And I'm super pale white. I wonder if I go to Scotland or England, am I gonna see people that look like me? That have like my face and stuff? I don't know. What am I talking about? Something. Oh, right, food. Like, I've seen things of foods from even like Scotland and England, and some of that stuff doesn't really look that appetizing to me. Like, the whole idea of beans on toast doesn't really. Though I will say this, apparently there's a thing like people butter the inside of a sandwich, which is a very weird concept to an American. But it does make me think of, like, there's these things called fajitas, and something that's, I think it's good, is to take butter and butter the inside of the flatbread tortilla, and then put your fajita toppings in there. Fajita is, it's traditionally wrapped with a a flour tortilla in place of bread, and it's got some sort of meat, usually either chicken or beef. I think beef tends to taste better that way. And it's got a certain type of seasoning that goes with it, along with a bunch of onions and peppers. And you can add other stuff too, like mushrooms, but predominantly it's stuff like non-spicy peppers, onions, and meat with a certain bit of seasoning. But I think it tastes better if you butter the tortilla first. I think it just tastes better. That being said, there is something in Ohio I'm not really sure if people are, it's called a buckeye. Granted, there's a nut that comes off trees called, it's a nut called a buckeye, which is poisonous. It will kill you. Don't eat it. It's completely inedible. It will kill you. But we do make candy called Buckeyes, which is, it's peanut butter fudge mixed with powdered sugar. And then it's dipped in milk chocolate. Or whatever chocolate. Basically, it's peanut butter fudge mixed with powdered sugar or other things, dipped in some type of chocolate. It's basically kind of a Reese's cup. But it's definitely a bit of a different texture and taste. But if you like a Reese's cup, you'd like a Buckeye. At least the candy. The nut will kill you. I'm just saying this. What I'm seeing here, even if it weren't poisonous, the idea of something that would have certain textures sounds gross and disgusting to me. And the idea of it staining the inside of your mouth a certain color, it just, I don't know. I find it gross. I mean, maybe other people would like that. I would just, and I imagine this is the sort of thing, if I was dating somebody, even if they were the sexiest person in the world and I loved them, if their mouth was they were eating something like this, I wouldn't want to touch them. I would be grossed out by it. And having to spit something out after you've put it in your mouth, how indecent. I mean, I can agree with that. I like sunflower seeds without shell, but the idea, the people that get the sunflowers and they open up the shells or they suck the shells and then chew it up and then get the little bits out and then spit, it's gross. I find the sunflower, don't get me wrong. Eating the already shelled sunflowers, that's good. It's just the way people tend to eat the sunflowers that still have the shells, I think it's kind of gross. Thinking this, Natsui adamantly refused Krause's invitation. No way, I don't need any. This is a cross-cultural experience. Don't get me wrong. I'm open-minded about things. If I go someplace and someone's like, oh, this is a cool dessert thing and it looks cool, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll at least consider it. But if it's made out of something I find disgusting or just the smell or something, I'm not going to try it. It's just not for me. Also, weren't you criticizing there was some food that she wanted to try in a previous episode that you say she didn't like? Krause, you seem kind of a jerk, man. What's the point of traveling if we don't do things that can only be done here? Krause kept chewing, ignoring the fact that even his lips were being colored bright red. Yeah, honestly, and it's not don't be wrong. I do agree with Natsui that there's some times where I will be a little bit concerned about decency. For example, I like buffalo wings, but I'm not gonna I feel a bit odd about eating them like a fucking caveman in public. Now I'll have some napkins and stuff and eat it myself privately, but it's just getting the stuff all over your face like that and having your hands covered. And same thing with ribs. Barbecue ribs, delicious, but they're very messy to eat and it feels a bit inappropriate to be that messy when you're eating.
Father likes these too. He must have ordered them long ago because he used to chew away at them on the mansion's terrace.
So he's just spitting everywhere? Also, given the way he's turned out, I mean, maybe this shit like causes brain problems for you, man?
Although it seems he's stopped ever since you arrived. Look here, Father. The person you respect even more than me enjoyed these all the time. Look. Don't be shy. Take some.
No, stop it, dear.
During travel, Kraus had the innocence of a child. He didn't even conceal his jealousy of the respect Natsui normally gave Kinzo. Just being able to see that side of her husband made traveling all the way to another country worthwhile. Kraus urged her even harder to bite it, but Natsui, undaunted, ran from the place to place and finally yelled that he was being too pushy. Kraus was miffed the whole bus ride.
I mean, it'd be one thing, like, you offered a couple times, but I mean, if she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. And then, like, also, why are you upset about it?
What a child to let a thing like this get him down. Natsui thought exasperatedly.
I do agree.
Then a native tour guide in the bus took out one of those areca nuts and started explaining about it. It had apparently been a beloved luxury. Do you guys say beloved or beloved? Luxury item in these parts since ancient times, similar to tobacco.
I think it's just because soda didn't exist yet.
Just like in Natsui's case, it was starting to be disliked by young people and was becoming obsolete. Furthermore, it was treated as a good luck charm in this area. It was known as a symbol for couples. She looked at her husband's face. He turned away abruptly, but it looked like his cheeks had gotten a little red. Okay, so you took it as an issue of her not liking it means she doesn't like you. Okay, at least that makes a little more sense, but it still doesn't, like... Again, this is what communication's for. You just communicate about this. And again, it's just a food item. It'd be like saying, oh, the couple that eats pizza together loves each other more. Like, no, a person's allowed to not like certain toppings. So, you then leaned on your husband and held his hand, didn't you? What the heck, you and your husband share a pretty pure love, don't you? Did you get all fired up, like that night? Kihi? Red-faced and avoiding Beato's eye, Natsui tried to hide her embarrassment by swallowing the patties whole, chewing with her cheeks puffed out like a blowfish. Beato said, "Yep, this is the best snack anyone could have with tea," and nodded several times, a broad smile on her face.
But weren't these things spicy? Are you okay, Natsui?
However, that's only how it was when we were newlyweds. Right now I cannot even leave Rokkenjima. I'm a bird in a cage. Well, it's the same for me. I can keep dying, but I just can't escape Rokkenjima. I'm also a bird in a cage. I don't know much about you, and I won't pry. However, I do see that you face circumstances not to be taken lightly. I have no desire to act like the chief prisoner here. Let's be friendly as fellow birds in this cage. I've taken a liking to you. Really, thank you. The instructions and orders you gave the servants for this family conference were superb. You took everything from where Kinzo would be and when and what he did and what he left behind, and put it all together splendidly without any contradictions. That detailed written plan of yours had the same beauty as a high-level magic circle. To make it look like Kinzo actually existed and was living life his own way, she had written his schedule for the day down to the finest detail and made the servants follow it to the letter. When did he meet whom and where, and what did he leave them? When did
he do, what, and where, and what changed. As a result, even though the relatives never saw Kenzo even once, they hadn't suspected in the slightest that he hadn't been there. Ava and the rest truly believed that Kenzo had just happened to be walking through the hall when he heard them talking about the inheritance and went into a rage. Everything had gone just as Natsui's plan had predicted, down to the finest detail. And the cooperation by the servants had also worked smoothly, down to the finest detail. We had to stop this secret from getting out, no matter the cost. That's why I double-checked the plan thoroughly. Your willpower and attention to detail summoned success with certainty. As a witch, it seems that you're in Lady Lambda Delta's camp. At your current level, as soon as you become self-aware of that as magic, you will be worthy of calling yourself a witch apprentice. If you call something like that magic, then that would make Kumasawa the witch of feigned illnesses. It's only on busy days that she calls us to say that she's taking the day off because of her bad back, like every year's family conference, for example. Oh no, you've got Kumasawa completely wrong there. She's a witch of a much, much higher level. Is she Virgilia? If you knew what she really was, it'd shock you, Cackle. Watching these two have their pleasant chat was another pair with steam rising from their black tea. However, this second pair was in a world that the first couldn't see, where golden roses bloomed. Renove was kind enough to make us some of that Dimbula tea too. It felt as though Beato muttered something. Well, till next time. Bye. 27 is not bad, but I need to try to have it just a little bit shorter.